Hello everyone, it's Outrider here and welcome to another video, and we're going to dive back into Studio Series 86 with the final deluxe, Blurr here. Now Blurr was the figure I was least excited about, and to be honest, he's not the worst one I've had so far. This is actually a really good Blurr figure, and one thing I will say is the photos don't do this thing justice. It is a bit like Jazz, a hell of a lot better in person. If we take a look at his face, and I think that's the major problem that a lot of people have had with this figure. It's the face. They don't like how that's sculpted. I'll try and move it a little bit closer so you can see it. Yeah, a lot of people are saying he's got a Jimmy Hill chin and all of that. I don't think it looks too bad in person. I really don't think it looks too bad. The major issue I've got with it is the dead eyes, and that is because we've got some light piping. And you can see that working there, but unfortunately, unlike some of the figures we've seen in Earthrise, Siege and even Kingdom, the light piping gives this a bit of a dead eye constantly, and I would have preferred these to be painted rather than the light piping. And it's the same for Cup as well. I think Jazz looks so much better having a painted visor. I think this would have done wonders for this particular figure, even though the back of the head is completely transparent, not that much light gets through. So you've got some nice detail here. Mine has got a few little dinks on the clear plastic and a bit of red paint inside there. You can't quite see it, but you see a little red mark just about there. Now, sculpt wise, stunning. The torso, the legs, the feet, even the face I'm happy with, the head I'm happy with, and the arms I'm happy with, until I turn it to the side or bend them, and my word, those are some big sleeves, aren't they? Now, one thing I will say, it's interesting how these are connected, because there is a mushroom peg that removes half by the hand and all of the kibble section. So I reckon someone who's good at customising could remove that hand and have these as kind of parts forming pieces, which in my opinion would work a little bit better. They're meant to tab into this section here and hold back, but it's a really loose connection. It's more friction from here than this actually holding it. Let's have a quick look at articulation. Head can do a full 360. Arms can rotate all the way around and go out that far. You can get a bend at the elbow, and you do get a swivel. You do get a swivel at the wrist, but it takes this part with it, just to be aware of that. Swivel at the waist, legs out that far, forward and back that far, bend at the knee, and you do get a rocker, which is pretty nice. And it cleans up okay on the back as well. Now, it comes with two accessories. It comes with his blaster, which is pretty accurate to what we see in Autobot City. It is cast in a white plastic, almost slightly cream-like, but not that horrible white plastic that we saw on Eight Face. And he holds that gun perfectly fine, and you can even kind of do the double-handed look from when he's shooting in Autobot City. Now, he also comes with his welder, which he uses on Junkion to try and repair the ship, and that just slides over his hand like so, which is nice. But the thing I really like is back here, there is these two ports here, and there's these two pegs here, and the welder, you can store it under there in robot mode. I didn't want the welder on him all the while, and I think that really works. Now, you do get paint on the legs. You do get some paint around here as well. You can see I've got a little chip there, but mainly just blue paints and white paints, and I think it works. I think he's a good looking little figure. Next to Cup, so there he is next to Cup, and you can see they scale quite well. And next to Jazz as well. I can't remember if these were actually on screen together in the movie, but you can see how they scale together. Now, I know a lot of people have been criticising this figure, and basically saying the Legends version of the Titans Return figure is better. And here is the one that I picked up late last year for a pretty reasonable price. This one had a slight paint chip on it. I have got his gun somewhere. Now, I like this figure. I think it's a really, really nice figure. But I personally prefer this one. The sleeker body. I actually, believe it or not, prefer the head. I really prefer the head on this. I just think this is a better figure all round compared to this one. There's nothing wrong with this figure. It just feels slightly dated compared to what this figure achieves for... Let's face it, this is a cheaper figure. I know a lot of people now are looking for this Takara version to fill the gap, but this is more animation accurate. The colours are better. It's just a better figure. This is a better figure than this one, and this is no offence to this toy because this is a really, really stunning little figure. Now, he does come with his backdrop and stand as well. I'll stick a picture of that now. And it's basically him in Autobot City, which is a backdrop we haven't had yet, and I'm happy to see it. So finally, before we go into alt mode, I need to tell you about something. I actually broke this figure. There is a tab section here when you're transforming, and it's kind of got an L lip on. And what you're meant to do is you're meant to tab these together and then swivel to lock it in place. But I didn't realise that I thought there were just two tabs. So when I tried to transform back to robot mode, I pulled the tab and I snapped it off. Now, at first I thought it would struggle to hold together in alt mode then, but actually it doesn't because there's the feet peg in and everything like that. All I'll say is be really careful transforming that part and transforming back to robot mode, because the clearance and the tolerances to twist that in there, I struggle. But then again, I'm a big alpha, aren't I? So that's probably why. And here is Blurr, all transformed up into his glorious alt mode. I think this is great. You can see there where I was talking about the legs. I've had a slight breakage, but because of the tabbing in here, it actually holds it together perfectly fine. So I thought at one point I might have to get another one of this to replace the damage, but I'm not going to bother, to be honest. It's made no difference. I think this is a wonderful representation of Blurr. I think that this alt mode is the best game we have had so far. And interestingly enough, comparing it next to the Titans Return, or the Legends version, I think it works better. I think it looks more animation accurate. It's interesting as well how similar these transformations actually are. This is more complex. However, the essence of this transformation is in here. I think this works really, really well. It hasn't got any wheels, which is something the Titans Return version does have. So nothing to roll on, but these are more designed for adult collectors anyway, let's face it. Now, the weapons, there is weapon storage, but it's really bad. So you basically take one of these side tabs here and you tab this in underneath. And remember what I said about the welder? You stick that on in the same place here, and then you can have that look going on if you really want to. No, not for me. Doesn't work. I don't think any of the weapon storage really works so far in the Studio Series 86 line. Cups is probably the best. But as you can see, this is a decent looking Blurr. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, is this worth the upgrade? And it's a tough one. I was not planning to buy Blurr to replace this figure, but I think it will. It just fits in aesthetically better than this Titans Return figure. And I'm starting to think now that I've got the Legends figures of Cup and Hot Rod, and fair enough, Blurr, he didn't come with a Target Master, but maybe they'll just be my trifecta for the rebirth. For the Headmasters and Target Masters. Maybe that's where they'll sit in my collection now, rather than the movie. This is a great figure, and it is a recommend from me. I am going to do a video worst to best once we've got the Voyagers in, and I think Junkie Dave and Excellion XLR are going to join in with that, where basically we take all 6 figures and we stick those in an order what we think's the best. And in my opinion, so far, I honestly thought Blurr would be the worst figure, and he's not. I recommend him. If you are looking for this figure, I can recommend picking this one up now, and it's as good, if not better. If you've already got this figure and don't know whether to upgrade or not, well, that's up to you. I personally am really happy with the upgrade, and I think overall this is a better Transformer. Until next time, I've been Zork Rider, and I'll catch you again really, really soon.